Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
How did the guy know that the girl needed a ride?
Who caused the guy and the girl to crash?
Okay. And why do we keep referring to them as the guy and the girl?
All this and more on Gory Storytime.
Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig. And this week, well, quickly let me answer those questions because I didn't do it right off the bat last time. Go back and match these up if you want. 1, he's kind of a stalker. 2, a ghost. And 3, stay tuned for that answer. Yeah, anyway.
Yep.
This week, we're doing our third and final Christmas movie of this season of
Halloween.
Of Halloween. I mean, yeah. Listen, you do it when you do it. I do it when I do it. Wait, no. We do it together.
This is December, so...
Listen, shh. Anyway, usually we do one Christmas movie a year, horror related, but this time we're like, there's a few that we wanted to see. This one's more tangential.
I mean, it happens...
on Christmas Eve, but like none of the story
she's on
really,
her way to Christmas.
But it's not really about Christmas in particular. It could take place any time of the year, but whatever.
Sure, so it could Die Hard, and that's a Christmas movie, so be less of what you are.
We're not here to talk about Die Hard. We're here to talk about Wind Chill, which, by the way, stars Emily Blunt as a girl, and I don't remember.
Aaron something or other?
Yeah, I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Does it?
No.
The point is, basically, there's a guy, finds out a girl needs a ride home for Christmas break, and he offers her, or she asks for a ride. He says yes, and things start off creepy almost immediately when she realizes he doesn't live near her, and he's going
knows
out
a
of his
bunch
way
of
just to
details about
drive.
her life.
And then it gets worse than that, but we'll get into that.
That it does.
But how about we throw it to a trailer so they can know what we're actually talking about?
I hope it doesn't spoil.
We had a class together, you know. Intro to Modern Philosophy.
God, there's like 1 million people in that class. It's like Woodstock.
So, are you doing anything over the break?
I'm getting that laser eye surgery.
But your glasses look so good on you.
How would you know? I never wear them outside my dorm.
The National Weather Service has issued a winter storm warning for the entire eastern seaboard. Temperatures will plunge with a wind chill reaching 30 degrees below zero.
What the hell is this? Are we lost or something?
It's a shortcut.
Get back on the highway.
Relax.
Pull over.
Where do you want me to pull over? There's no
Slow down.
Hello? Any luck?
I can't get a signal.
What's wrong with you? What did I do?
You drove us here.
You think I intentionally arranged for us to get stranded? What kind of a psycho do you think I am?
Hello? We just had an accident. We could really use some help here. What the hell?
Hey.
was weird. I just saw some guy he's gone. It's like he was...
There's the ruins of an old house or something up on the hill. I didn't see anyone. There's somebody up there. But I found these old newspapers.
2 found dead in tragic accident. Family freezes in car. Police officer burned alive. Every winter, there's freak accidents on this road. They say when you freeze to death, it's just like going to sleep.
Well, all right. Now, before we get into all our behind-the-scenes information, we got to do what we do every week, which is sell ourselves like some prostitutes for big corporations
right.
so that they keep sending us big checks.
It's damn right.
See, most people think we do this because we love horror movies, but if they actually know, they know that this is about fat stacks of cash.
About greasing our palms.
Yeah, and every week, different companies pay us tons of money to promote their stuff. For
And not
example,
a single guy comes back.
Yeah, we've never had a repeat customer, which is weird.
Yeah.
But this week, Gory Storytime is brought to you by Hitch, the ride-sharing service for young college students desperate enough to ride long distances with complete strangers. Hitch will connect you with someone just as desperate for help with their gas money. So, ignore every warning from your parents about getting in cars with strangers and download the Hitch app today. Disclaimer, Hitch is not responsible for the mental stability of the people you give rides to or get rides from.
And by the Big Book of Haunted American Destinations, a resource for those who love ghost stories and want to experience one themselves. The Big Book of Haunted American Destinations is jam-packed with houses, abandoned ghost towns, rundown prisons, and more. The Big Book of Haunted American Destinations, because why sleep in comfort when you can risk your sanity for a story you'll be able to tell for years?
Makes sense. All right. Now, is there anything you really want to say about it other than kind of creeper is her ride, and basically they get run off the road and have to survive the night because of how cold it is and because of things outside of the car as they showed in the trailer. That's about all we need to say before the behind the scenes, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So let's give them some meat and beef, as you like to say.
Absolutely, the meat and beef. All right. Neither of the 2 main characters' names are mentioned during the movie. In fact, none of the characters are named.
After the crash, car interior scenes were shot on a stage, while exterior scenes were all shot on an actual cold, snowy road, with trailers on location to keep the cast and crew warm between takes.
Though the film is set on the day before Christmas, there's no holiday decorations or paraphernalia present in the film aside from the occasional Christmas song on the radio and a brief shot of Christmas lights on the windows of a gas station.
An earlier draft of the script had Guy surviving longer until the confrontation with the cop while in the tow truck, but it was thought it made more sense that he died earlier and come back as a ghost. Plus, it was more unexpected that way.
Spoiler, by the way. Spoilers.
Yeah, you can't say spoiler afterwards.
And then mistakes. The coroner's truck's license plate is blue with gold text. That plate style was phased out in the 80s and 90s and would have been on normal cars and trucks. Emergency vehicles use municipal white plates with blue text.
The girl finds no room in the car's trunk for her suitcase, so she dumps the guy's shopping bag containing the food they'll need onto the car. Wow, car park. Someone from England wrote this. The parking lot.
Yeah.
Even though there was plenty of space on the back seat, as the movie shows later.
After the girl returns from the telephone pole, she opens the right door of the car. Before she gets in, the car newspaper is still hanging on the inside of the door window, but in the next shot from inside, it is gone.
The writing on the mirror inside the washroom where the girl gets stuck keeps changing between shots.
After the first time the girl tapes over the gap in the car window, she sees a ghost outside the car. They cut to the inside of the car, and the tape over the gap is missing.
The outside temperature is supposed to be below 0, but their breath was never seen.
Oh, wow. There is no Route 606 in Pennsylvania.
But that could just be something so that
I mean, it's ghostly. Like, come on.
While in the car, the radio announcer says the National Weather Service in Harrisburg issued a winter storm warning for the entire eastern seaboard. There is no National Weather Service bureau located in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and even if there was, it wouldn't issue for a storm warning covering the entire eastern seaboard.
The weather announcer says the National Weather Service in Harrisburg.
Okay, that's literally the
heck?
same thing, so just go to the next thing.
All right. At the gas station, the girl's bag is flat when she goes into the stall, but it is upright when she comes out.
Guy turns the dome light off, claiming to need to conserve the battery. However, the high beams are on through the entire movie.
True. The time says 5:15 p.m., but it is still light out, and it is almost Christmas.
They say that, except it's not really light. The whole movie,
Like, the
once
entire
they crash,
movie is, like, dark.
Wait.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. When they began their trip, there's no license plate on the rear of the car. Even though the girl loads her suitcase into the trunk and closes the trunk, she doesn't notice a thing where the plate should be right in her face.
Multiple shadows cast on the snow by the boy and the girl.
You noticed that, too. You were
I
like, there's
did.
more than one shadow from the same thing. And after the car crashes, the guy suggests that the girl operates the car's controls while he pushes out of the snowbank. However, much of the car is covered in snow, and the drifts that it would have made it impossible to push out that way. That's it for that. Holy cow.
Yeah.
This is going to be a short one, really.
I
It
believe
seems
so.
like we don't like making them too short, but
Right.
maybe we can get into...
Well, we've also got the Rotten Tomatoes scores.
Oh, yes. The Rotten Tomato scores. And again, for those not in the know, the score isn't what Rotten Tomatoes thinks of. It's like when they say 75, it doesn't mean it's
75 out of 100.
a B plus,
Right, like-
or an A, I mean a C plus or whatever 75
Right.
would be, or C.
C plus.
C.
Oh, yeah, C flat.
C flat.
Yep.
You're a dork. What it means is they take all of the reviewers, not including ourselves, because we don't count. Because
No.
why would we? Like, we're not known, except locally, and even then, not really. But anyway, we've had a few people say, "Hey, you do that show?" And it's like, yeah, I don't like horror movies. I'm like, sweet.
Well, then why do you watch?
Wait. Oh, they don't. They just know that we do a show. They're like, oh, it's those guys. Click.
Hey, we do that too.
Listen, a few people watched our specials, like our 200th
Yeah.
episode. But anyway, back to my point.
Yeah, that.
So what they do is, if it's a positive review, they give it a mark as positive. Negative review, it's negative, and then the percentage is how many positive reviews out of, percentage-wise. So the people, you usually do yours first. The
do I?
critics have it at
46%.
So just under half of the critics liked it. They usually are pretty hard on horror and Christmas too, actually, unless it's like
Oh, yeah.
anti-Christmas, and comedy. Those are like the things that they really go against, though, is horror and comedy, unless they're like spectacular.
Yeah.
But the people, in this case, actually have it at less. They have it at 31% positive reviews. And we'll get to why that's good or bad.
Right or
in our
wrong,
opinion.
yeah.
Right or wrong, yeah. But before we do that, we got to talk about our favorite and least favorite scenes. I want to talk about least favorite first. Why don't you go first, and then I'll go second.
All right. So there were two things that I understood that were pretty bad, and I'm going to go with basically from the moment things start in the movie, you can't see a thing.
Like, we had the lights off. We had,
We had everything as dark as possible in the home so that we could see the screen, and it was nothing.
all the screenshots on IMDb and stuff. It's
Are
brightly
bright.
lit.
The trailer was super bright, and it's like, why couldn't the movie have been visible.
Because they were trying to cover up, I'm assuming, bad special effects and things. And they thought, ooh, it'll be creepy if you can't see anything. So if you're walking around in pitch black and you think things might be happening based on sounds, then ooh.
Right, so if you're
They went too
blind,
dark.
this
They really
movie
did.
is for you.
If you went blind, it's going to be
No,
the
if you
same
are
experience.
blind. Right, that's what I'm saying. If you're blind, this movie is for
I'm
you.
just saying it'll be the same experience either way.
Yeah.
It was too dark. It was ridiculous. And we put in other things before and after that.
It's like,
It wasn't,
okay, hey,
it
if
wasn't
there's,
the settings on our
there is
television or
brightness to
anything.
this.
Yeah, it was just supposed to be in the dark, and it was ridiculous. All right, and we both kind of agree on that, but just because I have to, they went too far with, they would have something happen, and then, oh, they were waking up in the car, and it was a dream, but they both dreamed it, so was it real? And they were doing it to kind of keep you off balance and give you that creepy feeling, except
It didn't work.
other things that actually do that,
Do
this
it
wasn't
well,
one.
right.
Yeah, I understand what they were trying. It was just a failure.
Yes.
It was super a failure.
Yes.
If you want to watch Emily Blunt in a horror movie, watch the Quiet Place movies, because
Absolutely.
those are actually good.
Phenomenal.
It was rough. I mean, well, it might have been better if we could see it.
Possibly.
But probably not, because it was still, they made sure it was as confusing as possible. It's like, oh, she went into a bathroom before the crash, before the ghost, before any of the stuff, and she couldn't get out, and she's screaming at the top of her lungs, and it's like she's trapped there, and nobody on the other
heard
side of
her.
the door of a regular bathroom in a convenience store heard her. That makes
Right.
no sense.
No.
Like, none. And she's like, you didn't hear me in there? And they're like, no. It's like, really? Because why would they soundproof a bathroom that, unless it was a trap to get her to not be able to come out, but that wasn't what it was.
And if so, it was unsuccessful because she got out.
Right. And everyone just kind of stared at her like, what's your problem? And she's like, I was stuck. And they're like, well, why didn't you say anything? And she's like, I screamed it. It makes no sense.
There's a lot of not making sense
So-
in this movie.
From beginning to end, most of it didn't make a lot of sense.
Right.
I understand what they were
So,
trying for, but they just failed.
What was your favorite scene?
What was my favorite scene? I guess just because it was a little... it's the beginning part where it looks like it might be him being a creep, and now he's got her alone, and it seems like the type of thing where it's like he's taking her out into the middle of nowhere when she's like, hey, stay on the highway, and he's like, no, I know a shortcut, even though he doesn't know the area, and he goes off the thing.
For the scenic route.
Like,
Scenic route in pitch
it
black.
set it up where
Black.
it could be very much he's a stalker that's just going to, like,
Be creepy towards her.
yeah, and like maybe kidnap or hurt her,
Kind
or
of like the
whatever.
last movie we did.
But they didn't follow through with that. They're like, now they're being attacked by ghosts, because why not?
Right.
And it was based on an idea one of the scriptwriters had. What if you were in a car and it was haunted? Which is not what happened in this movie. It was like,
Not at all.
that might have
That
been
would have been a cool
something.
concept.
Like, who knows? If done well, but apparently as a writer, he's not great, because if this is what he did, maybe that idea would have still failed too.
Yeah, if he
there
was
was a
the one
lot
that
of
wrote it.
attempted good that failed. But what was your favorite thing?
Well, at the end of the movie, the cop that had been killing so many people or whatever on the road, you find out that these super creepy priests, all right, that just kind of show up once in a while to watch people die, because that's something.
So your favorite part has something you're annoyed by? Go ahead.
Yeah. Well,
That
so
says a lot.
basically, the cop, it shows you how he died and became a ghost, which is he crashed and the priests show up and they're like, oh yeah, you're kind of a D-bag for all of the murders. So they just cut the wire so he couldn't get a hold of anybody because he was a cop, and then walked away and let him burn. And I was like, all right, you know what? After everything that he did, totally. But also,
running teenagers
what?
off the road to murder them?
For no reason, just because he was evil.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But of course, there were priests because it was a ghost movie.
Now, here's the real question, and you can probably see where this is kind of heading. What do you think you would rate this on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm going to go 4.5.
Wow.
Because it's they had a lot of setups for a lot of different cool ideas, and then they followed through with none of them.
All right, your explanation there is why I'm going 2.5. Because had they followed through on any of them well, like I don't mind
It's
when
because
it
they
goes
had
back
so many
and
cool
forth.
ideas that I was like, okay.
They had cool little ideas that never followed through for the most part.
Nothing followed through.
It was
and then they were just
awful.
like, oh, and then now the guy's dead because...
And it's not because of the acting. Like, I thought the acting was good among all of the characters. It's just, if the
I don't
script is
see how
awful,
I
you
don't
can
see how
act
they
it.
were able to act so well because
Considering what
I
they
would
were
have not
acting.
understood what I was doing.
Yeah, I mean, really.
It was
like,
disjointed.
I get that there's some movies people find confusing,
Inception.
Inception.
But there's at least a story to that, and
Right.
then, like, when you decipher
But
it, there's things.
It seemed like they were trying to go for, it's confusing, but if you can't figure it out, it's because you're dumb. It's like, no.
No, it's because there's nothing.
It was poorly written. Like, ugh. So I'm going 2.5. I think you gave it way too much credit.
Well,
and I
that'd
was
be pretty
seriously
damn bad
thinking
for me
about
to
it
say
too.
less than that, so...
I mean, there was no part. I was angered watching this whole movie.
Yeah, basically, because we
because
couldn't
Emily
see
Blunt's a
anything,
good
and
actress.
she's a great actress.
Like, and all the other people were actually good in their characters, considering their characters were ass. But anyway.
Yeah.
So now, since we've done all of the damage we can do to a movie from 2007, so it's not like people are going to stop watching it. It's on Hulu if you hate yourself.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
But now for the stuff that's on that side of the screen that we like to say at the end of the.
Goodness.
And, there we go.
There it is. So you can watch this show on Fact TV channel 1076 Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
You can like us on Facebook, and like I always say, when I say like us, I mean like Gory Storytime and like Fact TV, because they like to live stream a lot of the stuff that they're doing, and sometimes people actually watch while we're doing this. That's more than usually watch when we have it up on the site.
So if you are watching, hey, if you're telekinetic.
If you believe in telekinesis, raise my hand. No.
Right.
Whoa. Anyway.
That was better than the movie.
And scarier. Anyway.
All right. You can go to factdate.com. They have a bunch of the back episodes of this. They have a bunch of episodes and shows that they do, other shows.
Yeah.
They have
Great
board
thing about-
meetings. They have everything.
Great thing about
They do
this
everything.
community is there's actually quite a bit of, content over the years I've seen made by local producers.
Oh, yeah.
And I love it. From TV shows to films to
Music
reviews
videos
to music.
to-
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm going to say follow us on Twitter. I'm at Craig Jakes, all one word, all lowercase. I don't tweet about the show. It's, usually funny things I think of to say or political conversations. So just realize if that's not your cup of tea, don't bother.
Yeah, and I'm at Jiggly Firm Brain. I tweet funny things that he says.
In or out of context, depending on what it is.
However I want to make him sound in the moment.
Well, and however you can make it as funny as possible.
Funny or filthy sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes he takes things and makes them sound filthy when they weren't. Sometimes he makes them filthier. But
Yeah.
anyway, also you can check out our YouTube, or my YouTube. It's Juggalo Jakes. But if you look for Gory Storytime, you'll find it. You'll find episodes on my page, which I would love you to like and subscribe to, and Fact TV's. And give them a like and subscribe and
Absolutely.
hit the notification bell, all those things that you do for all those things. Because
yeah.
they've helped us do this for almost 14 years. It'll be 14 years in March, which, yeah, you didn't remember that, did you?
14. What's been 14
No,
years?
not 14. I mean 8. Why did I say 14? You were 13. I was doing bad
Oh, my
math.
goodness.
8 years, and I'm an idiot.
I was 6.
Right? 7. No.
Almost.
Right, no.
No.
I said a totally incorrect thing and forget that I
Jeez.
spoke.
I'm bad at
8
math.
years.
That
No.
really confused me.
No, I was thinking a different number and did math based on a totally unrelated thing.
Yeah, because I was 13, not 14. So even that's wrong.
Shut up. Anyway.
So next week on He's Wrong About Everything.
No, we probably won't get
We
back
won't be here
until
next week because of
after the New
Christmas times.
Yeah.
So, I've been your host, Jason.
I was co-host and Father Craig. And
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and
Sweet dreams.